Barely legal. Warning, spoilers and mature content ahead. We watch as a minivan and another car pull up to a warehouse, and Deacon, Fred, and Matt are hung up on meat hooks. The boys have their pants dropped, and Matt begs for Porno Man not to kill them. The mustached man says they're not going to kill them, but they're going to take their balls. We go back to an earlier plot in their school year, and we hear about how high schoolers are expected to mess up. We also hear a woman moaning out of control somewhere in the auditorium. Apparently, Fred borrows films from the movie store. Matt duplicates them on an extra VHS, and Deacon sells them to needy freshmen. The boys sit there and criticize the adult film industry while they watch it, but soon the bell rings. Deacon sells the tapes to other students. Matt tries to film his own work in the halls, but he always seems to get distracted by spying on the girls in the locker room. He also always gets caught, though. Fred, on the other hand, has a self-confidence issue, and he makes multiple trips to the bathroom to handle his business. When we get back around to Deacon, he makes it clear that the only thing that's on his mind is booty. It even goes over to the teacher in the sex ed class. When Deacon hears a rumor about Rachel getting it on at a party, Deacon gets aggravated since she had told him that she wasn't ready. After school, Deacon watches Rachel get a ride home, and he tells Fred that they have to do something different. Deacon thinks that they just have to get more money in order to get more women, and Matt seems to think that's a good idea. Fred, on the other hand, doesn't think that anything's going to change. When Deacon gets home, his family surprises him for his birthday, but Deacon was expecting a car. In his defense, his parents did do a whole present reveal in the garage. Why would they wrap up a computer and present it in the garage? That's just misleading. That weekend, the guys go to Coop's house party, but Coop tries to keep them out. It's only after Deacon says it's his birthday that he lets them in and serves them beer. Then they spot Naomi, and she seems to have some sort of radiance around her as she gets a beer mustache. Deacon heads over to talk to her, but it's about as uneventful as one would expect. The next day, they find out that they're not going to be able to keep doing the adult DVD scams anymore since Fred got fired. Later, Deacon comes up with the great idea to make their own adult film, and he already has an angle. He wants to make adult films by virgins for virgins. It's only after talking about the amount of money they'd make that the other two get on board. What idiots would question this amazing business plan? Especially what high school boy? Honestly, they care about the money more than the dirty stuff? They definitely have the moral high ground. Matt comes up with the name of the company, and just like that, after-school special production starts. Across town, we find out that Mr. Porno's name is Vic, and he's getting ready to shoot another film. I kinda like the other name better, but we'll start calling him Vic. Back with the guys, Fred makes a few calls to see what's required for them to start this, and they come up with names so that they're not recognized. These are some of the worst names I've ever heard. I don't think I could say all of them, but Deacon is Sam Slam, the backdoor man. That's good enough to give you an idea. They're high schoolers. Creativity in this department is kinda basic. That evening, they make up fake IDs, and they head out to go to the club. Once they get to the Pretty Kitty, they get their fake facial hair on, and they manage to buy their way in. Where is this strip club? They have pyrotechnics and laser holograms. These girls should be getting hazard pay on top of their tips. Eventually, one of the girls tries to drum up some business with them, but when they tell her that they're looking for talent, she goes to get Ashley. Ashley tells them that she's 18, and she's immediately hired. The boys watch her do a little dance as an audition, but they had already hired her. After the club closes, the boys take some of the strippers with them to a carnival, and after that they all drive to escort Deacon and the boys to his house. Once there, they pass out drunk on the front step. The next day, Vic finds out that someone is taking their talent, and he talks to his boss about what they're going to do about it. After getting calmed down, Vic gets ready to star in 5 different films. Could you imagine spending a whole business day doing that? I mean, I wouldn't complain, but wouldn't you get a little tired at some point? Back at Deacon's house, the guys are posting pre-order sales on their website, and they pick one of their classmates to be the face of the website. Just then, Deacon's mother brings in Jake, who saw the strippers drop them off the night before. After he finds out that they're filming a porno, he tries to be the male star of the movie. The day after school, the guys have Ashley meet them in their basement, and they start filming her scenes. Matt gives her all the direction she needs to play her part, and once they start rolling, it becomes clear that this is a whole new territory for them. Then Jake comes in for his scene, and he ends up blowing it. Literally. With just one touch, he blows it. No judgment here, but I think that would be a sure sign that these guys aren't professionals. I can't imagine that any movies would ever be made if that was the case. After Jake walks out on everyone, the guys talk about what they need to do, and they decide that they have to hire Coop. Afterwards, Fred and Matt rewrite the script so that it fits Coop. Afterwards, Fred and Matt rewrite the script so that it fits Coop better, but they keep with the schoolgirl theme. When the guys post the description on the video, pre-orders go through the roof as over 1 million people visit the site. Later at school, Deacon runs into Naomi, and he helps her as she changes her shirt. While he blocks the view for everyone, she tries to get a little more comfortable knowing him, and Deacon alludes to the fact that he's been working on a project. She ends up inviting him over to a party later that night, and he graciously accepts. At Deacon's field trip, the guys show up to give Deacon the news. But Deacon tells them that he can't do the movie that night because of meeting Naomi. What's more important? Filming a dirty movie that's already potentially gotten you 12,000 sales? Or going to a high school party with Naomi? Well, that's a no-brainer for me. Film the movie, then you can afford to throw as many parties as you want to invite Naomi to. Deacon ends up meeting Naomi at the party, and Jake tries to ruin the night for them. When Deacon goes to comfort Naomi, he tries to tell her about how she should be treated, and she ends up going in for a cheek kiss. Well, that's not good enough to Deacon, though, and he ends up going in for more. In the end, it ends up working out, and everyone watches as Deacon and Naomi make out. Oh wait, it ends up being a lot more than that. Not only is this Deacon's first time, but he decides to use a lot of material from the dirty videos he's watched in the past. Don't try porno moves on your first time. You gotta work into that stuff. The next day, Deacon goes to the set to see what's going on, and he has some creative differences with Matt. After they start filming, they end up starting a fire with the special effects, and Deacon has to gather water from the washer to put it out. All of them rush upstairs to the kitchen, and they wind up running into Deacon's family. After coming up with a clever lie about Ashley being Deacon's girlfriend, and them having a makeout party, she ends up getting invited to dinner with the family. That's one way to meet the family. If only this wouldn't backfire with Naomi later. I don't know if it does, but there are way too many things that could become a hiccup later. I'm just assuming that this is yet another one to add to the list. Surprise, surprise, Naomi pops over to visit. I expected this, but to happen later. Somehow, Deacon actually explains everything to Naomi outside, and she actually believes him. Not only that, but she convinces him to let her come to set tomorrow. Meanwhile, Vic finds out about the website, and he gets the address off of their website. What they don't know is that the address is phony, and Vic ends up crashing a 9-year-old's birthday party. Back at Deacon's house, Fred and Matt are surprised to find Naomi waiting for them, and they try to read the script. Naomi ends up causing an even bigger rift in the group, and she walks out. When Naomi leaves, she makes Deacon choose between her and his friends, and he chooses her. That's a tough moment for him. Later, Fred reminds him of the motto of the company, though: by virgins, for virgins. I was surprised that they let him stay in the group for this long. On top of that, they ask him if he even likes her, or if he's just been so caught up in his childhood fantasy. Man, that's another tough moment. It's really hard to even tell the difference at that point. Later at school, Deacon runs into Rachel at the library, and he asks her about the rumor he heard. She makes it clear that she never did anything, and he seems to feel a lot better. That night, Deacon takes a moment to really think about what's important, and he ends up calling Fred and Matt over to make up. Suddenly, Ashley shows up, and she says that she needs them to make the movie for her reel. Elsewhere, the classmate that the group used for the website starts getting attention from women that want to be in films. He has absolutely no idea what's going on, but the perks are phenomenal. Back in the basement, the guys set up a fake prom night, and they start shooting the rest of their film. Now things get hardcore and dirty. I mean, I feel like they just filmed the whole month's worth in one day. Where did this other couple come from? Someone put in the work to really get things going on this film. That's efficiency. The next day, Vic hears the clerk at the film store talk about the after-school special guys waiting to set up an account, and he tries to hardball the clerk into giving him info on them. Back at the house, Deacon and Fred are excited about seeing the finished project, but Matt can't help but be turned off by all the nasty stuff that happened behind the scenes. Matt thinks that the movie's a mistake, and Deacon seems to agree with him. They ended up convincing Matt to finish the movie since they already had pre-orders, but they agreed to leave the business after finishing it. They throw a big bonfire party at the beach, and everyone shows up. Ashley shows up, and she tells them that another big company wants to fly her and Coop out to set up a professional contract. It can't be that easy to get into the business. It doesn't seem hard to imagine Ashley in the business, but Coop though? Coop? As the party keeps going, Ashley and Deacon sit to talk about Deacon's fantasy girl, and he points out that his connection with her is like nothing what it was with Rachel. Ashley points out that he's sure to break up with her, and he immediately gets up and does just that. Suddenly Jake pops on the mic, and he tries to blow the whistle on the dirty movie business. Deacon finds out that Jake sent the copy of their parents, and they rush to the car while Naomi puts Jake in his place. Just as the guys get to the car, Vic and his buddy make their presence known and pull guns on them. Now we come full circle, and we see the guys hanging on meat hooks. Don't you love when movies do that? I feel like this movie came out around the time that every movie was doing that. Of course, they don't get their junk snipped off, though. In fact, they just give Vic the site, all the sales, and leave the business so long as he gives them quality movies for free and keeps the theme of the company, amateurs. They could have asked for 10% and they still would have been just fine. Vic agrees to their terms, and he even gives Matt his card in case he wants a job after high school. Vic even gets emotional about the fact that Matt reminds him of himself when he was a teenager. He opens up to his lackey, and the two of them go for a bite to eat while Deacon and the guys race to his house. While Deacon's mother slowly goes for the mail, Deacon whips the minivan into the driveway, but he's that much too late. Deacon's parents are sitting in the living room, and they already know about Deacon's report card. That's right, they have a problem with his report card, and Deacon takes this time to establish a new relationship with his parents. Of course, Deacon's little brother has the tape, and he has demands. He knows what he's doing. To top it off, he was their first pre-order. Fantastic. The next day, everyone goes to school, and Deacon notices Rachel from across the parking lot. The two of them get back together, and it's a happy ending for everyone. Word on the street is that Deacon and the guys were in charge of the after-school special, and they became legends in the school. It's a happy ending for everyone except for Jake, that is. Matt sets up the school TVs with the tape of Jake's quick performance, and the entire school knows about his problem. As Deacon and the guys leave the school, Vic pulls through with a tow truck, and we see that he's delivered 3 sports cars to the guys so they can drive their dates in style. Later, Deacon's parents lay in bed and watch the after-school special, and they see a family picture from their basement in the shot. Then the credits roll. This is yet another classic dirty comedy from the early 2000s, and it was definitely a simpler time. Give it a shot. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this one.